ръководи това видео. Ти пред нас, ние за тебе, Исусе. Чакай, че моите... Айде. Лайв ли?
Wife C. Wife.
Oh, hello. Hello, hello. Right after Trifon, we're live with Krasi, our amazing sidereal Babylonian astrologer who leads us through the 12 signs for every month. And she's here to lead us through November and to give her insight into the elections of November. And again, Krasi told me it's incredibly difficult to see this time. Sometimes it's very clear, and this time she says, like, I've been sitting and watching and looking since June, and it's been
Yes.
crazy. Like, what are you saying, Krasi? Like, you're not the first brilliant astrologers I know, I work with. You're one of them, and you keep telling me, you're also telling me something very similar.
Yes, Wada. Hello, everybody. Yes, very, very interesting is indeed, Wada. Since June, I am pulling charts, solar return horoscopes, progressed horoscopes of Trump. Later, when we found out that Kamala will be his opposition, then I started looking at Kamala's charts, primary directions. Every method that I had in mind, I really applied. And I can tell you the situation is very, very interesting. Where to start from? Before we look at the election results, the way I see them, first to say that November is very, very like very specific configurations on the sky, and they are like chessmate, very interesting example. The first appearance of the month of the moon of the Babylonian lunar month Arachsamna. This is the month immediately after Tishrit. Tishrit is the month of the autumn equinox. For autumn or summer, for the south is summer, for us is autumn, doesn't matter. This is the equinox. And actually, this was very important month. And this month, this month is also very young in this sense, like, because we are talking about the next 6 months of the year. It started with the previous month. So everything which is happening is still very strong, with high amplitude, because the month is such. But in addition, the appearance of the moon is taking place in the vicinity of a sacred degree, which degree is Hermetic degree. And it is Mercurian degree in a way, because this is Hermes. And this
Can you let me know when is the moon appearing? Because it
the moon is appearing. The moon almost for everywhere is appearing on the 3rd of November in the vicinity of the crown of the Scorpio. The Scorpion has, this is not normal Scorpio. This Scorpion has horns because it is divine Scorpio. The horns show divinity, in the mythology. And the moon appears right on the head of Scorpio. This is already very, I don't want to say ominous, but maybe it is ominous. The moon appears there. Hermetic degrees, not in a bad way, not in a bad sense. Hermetic sacred means something very special, very important will take place.
Like
and
kind of divine intervention type of thing,
yes.
or
initiation,
kind of a higher consciousness energy.
You can say that. Of course, you can say that. Also, Wada, Mercury is evening star, like as Hermes, the true knowledge. And he's also with the moon in Scorpio. And look what also happens. Mars is in Cancer, fallen. And Mars and the moon exchanged positions. They are in what is called mutual reception. It's like, I'm coming to live in your house, you're coming to live in my house. I'm saying to people who do not know what is mutual reception. Like, Mars is in the house of the moon is in the house of Mars. And they form trine. And this is very, very, very strong. aspect. Venus is also there in Scorpio, but she's not powerful enough because in Scorpio, as evening star, she has a little bit more dignities, but she's not powerful enough. So moon is classically considered fallen, but in this case, I don't like to say that because in the sacred degree, how can the moon be fallen? It is rather very, very sacred moon, and with Mars, they exchange very powerful energies. Mars is about of course, we know this is Mars, this is God Nergau, this is about the warlike theaters which we see now played before our eyes. And this particular situation does not mean peace. Does not mean peace. It means that the warlike theater will move to will be secretive, will be manipulative, will be on water, on seas, but will be the diplomacy will totally take another dimension. It will be on another level. That's very manipulative, very then also Saturn retrograde, also in very special degrees, in 18 degrees of Aquarius, also spiritually very powerful degrees, just in the beginning of the water, which the waterman is pouring, square Moon Saturn. Like the people are the moon in mundane astrology, and the people for them, for us, because whatever is happening in the world, especially in America, is having impact on the whole world without any doubt. So we're watching with big eyes, really, with anticipation to see what will happen in America on the 4th, 5th, when you have the elections. I will tell you my opinion in a second. But people will be unrest, most probably will not be happy. The majority will not be happy with the results. Also because Saturn is the judge on the sky. He's the karma. Like whatever comes as a result, even if we will see manipulated results, it will be divine, according to the divine purpose, divine will. And the sacred degree says the same. According to, there is another aspect which we discussed with you before we started this talk. Venus and Jupiter are in exact opposition to a degree. Jupiter is in the 26 degrees of Taurus, where you have a very powerful money stars. Capella is there. And Venus is in the 26 degree of Scorpio, also powerful, very near, Venus is not strong enough, but she's very near Shaula, the poisonous Shaula. But this in general, in the horoscope, this is the axis of money. This will give such, whatever will happen in November will bring such big shift in the markets. And by the way, I wanted to say also one thing. If people remember, it was the beginning of the year. Me and you spoke about the solar flares. We made a separate video. It was the cycle code 25. It was to remind to you, every 11 years, the sun is having specific increase in the solar activity. Every 11 years. But what happened? This year, the solar activities took place earlier. They started from February, and they were planned, the solar flares were planned astronomically for 2025, but they started happening gradually in February of this year.
So and the peak came a year earlier almost.
Yes, much earlier, which is unusual, and it is ominous. And I told you then that this would bring enormous increase in the prices of gold. And let me tell you one thing, this is what happened. I was shocked to see this week the prices of gold. And in addition, I tell you, in October, there was another peak, which was enormous, unexpectedly high, which will continue the increase of the price of gold also now in November. And we see this exactly as we said early in the beginning of the year. This video is on
all those lights that were coming in. We had Aurora Borealis coming up to Canada, to California almost. People in Southern Europe could see them. Was part of the sun the sun
What I
cycle?
don't know if we could see this with naked eye. I never tried. I have no idea.
No. I mean, remember in May there was huge everywhere. They could see people could see aurora borealis, even us here in Bulgaria.
Yeah. But this was. I don't want to say the name because this can cost you problems.
Hard. Yeah.
No. Yeah. What this was clearly manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. We never, ever had this on the Balkans. Come on, completely red sky seen in Bulgaria from many places. In Serbia, in Romania, people were sending pictures. This was not normal. Absolutely never ever took place. We don't have aurora borealis. We don't have it in the Balkans. This is not normal.
Is it maybe? What if it's not humans, but God's trying to show us times are really changing and shifting? You don't think so? You think it's human?
This was HARP because I forgot already, but there were strange accompanying events around these green red skies. It was evil. It didn't feel right.
Because usually it has very good connotations. I read ancient mythology, and when they would see the northern lights much further down, they said it was wonderful sign of evolution.
Natural.
If it was natural, so I have to see and watch what's happening. Yeah, I know you're a bit doom and gloom like I am. I never trust any. I trust every single person around me, but not the government, what the newspaper
people said. I trust more and more because now people who are that we are connected with are more and more like us. So you can trust people a lot. But sorry, governments, this is forget about it. Or doctors, forget about it. I mean, yeah. So yeah, could be an omen if it's real, but I doubt it. This is one thing I wanted to tell you. But speaking about prices of gold, speaking about markets, you can imagine at the moment of the first lunar crescent for the beginning of the lunar month, this big opposition Jupiter-Venus, two benevolent planets is, and also Saturn is squaring, Jupiter. This is something which is important. In addition, we have another interesting event. The sun in the 7 degrees of Libra is trining Saturn in Aquarius, almost exact trine. And actually, this is the good trine, very stable, very beautiful. Stable in what way? Everything which comes from Saturn and is coming in a harmonious way, which is Saturn in Aquarius, which is a trine aspect. Everything which comes from Saturn in such way is stable, can bring to you stable results. And the Sun in Libra, which some like to call fallen, I again will disagree because the Sun is the father of the solar system. It's the how can the Sun be fallen? Anyway, the Sun is conjunct Gamma, star of creativity. So if we really will have difficult times, unrest, economy shifts, the answer is creativity, love, and we will have gained stable results. So more or less this is the situation. Now I wanted to tell you 2-3 words how I see the elections. And like I mentioned to you, I put the horoscopes of Donald Trump from, let's say, if we start already in 2016 when he won the elections, his solar return chart was such that he had a repetition of his ascendant. Like the solar return chart was also Leo ascendant, 2nd degree Leo, very good aspects, and I don't want to go into more details. Then we look at the solar return horoscope of Donald Trump.
If you want, you can share the chart.
Let me try. I am so... Let me try. So clumsy.
Press share. And you select the...
I will try. Share screen. Okay, maybe I can manage now. I think I managed. Perfect. Hope you see. So you can see this is the horoscope of dawn, the solar return. Now let me tell you, people who say, "Oh, this is not solar return horoscope," I am using a very ancient system. This is not the regular solar return horoscope. So, but in this horoscope of 2020,
Sorry, is that 2020 or 2016?
This is 2020. Oh, you want to see 2016? I
yeah,
will
yeah.
show you. 2016 is like clearly easy. You could see he's winning. I hope to be able to open.
But he lost in 2020.
He lost into 2021, but in previously he won, and this was seen from the solar return horoscope. How to share the previous one? Let me not lose your time. I'll try because
Just click on the other charts you have above.
I have many charts and I cannot click for some reason.
Just on top.
One second. Let me explain to you about this chart, and I show you the previous one when I close this. So you can see he lost in 2020-21, and see Leo ascendant. Leo ascendant is the fifth house, but what made him lose at that time? One second. Yes, it was the square of Mars with Neptune to the Sun, to his ascendant ruler, and Venus, even in Taurus, was invisible. She was not powerful enough to protect him. And this was for some reason also divine will, because you had at that time Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, but Neptune and Mars were squaring his ascendant ruler. And this is very, very clearly a situation when deception situation. Then I want to show you quickly if I can, I'll open it again quickly. Trump, I hope. Trump solar. Now I want to show you his solar for this year. Now what a look. Sagittarius ascendant, 19 degree, okay. But the ruler of his ascendant, which is the Sun, is in
his natal ascendant. Of his
natal ascendant is Leo. Yes, the ruler is again in the sixth house with invisible Venus and Jupiter. And this full moon situation, which he has, Scorpio, Taurus in the 12th and 6th house, is in the 12th and 6th house, could be that he will be experiencing either betrayal or some sudden change of the course of actions again. And also Mars in Pisces with Rahu is square in the ascendant, almost exactly. You see ascendant in the 19 degree, Rahu in the 19, you see squares, very strange squares, and the ascendant ruler, the full moon with planets, benevolent planets, which are not powerful enough, are on axis of enemies or health situation. He could have health, either attack or failure or something. And Saturn is squaring too. So this is, to me, very weak solar horoscope, which cannot immediately mean winning, can mean something unfortunate, maybe. You know, this is what the solar return is saying. In addition, when I looked at his cycles, the cycles which rule his life, he's still in the Venus cycle, which is benevolent for him. But he was also in the same cycle, Venus cycle, when he lost. If you look at Kamala's horoscope, look, I'm showing you now her chart. Look, she has ascendant Gemini, and look what she has, Wada.
That's her natal chart?
Natal chart. She has Mars, Moon, mutual reception. And this is repetition of the situation of November. It is not the same mutual reception. It is not happening between Moon and Scorpio, Moon in Scorpio and Mars in Cancer, but still it is mutual reception, which is very powerful for her. This is not a good aspect in general, but it is aspect which is containing lots of power. And also you can see She has Saturn return. Saturn is in Aquarius on her midheaven. If this is the midheaven, if the time is correct, we don't know that. And now she also has Saturn return. And look at the solar return. A little bit more fortunate. On the ascendant, she has this very same Mars, but her ascendant ruler is taking place in the 12th. And Mercury, who rules her, and then her ascendant was, oh, yeah, it was so. Was it so? 1 second. Yeah, ascendant Gemini and the solar return horoscope. Look, 12th house Gemini, and Mercury is in the 5th house in Scorpio, which is again a repetition of the current situation of November. And actually, the 5th house is the house of the good fortune. But also for her, there is exact square between Mercury and Saturn. So for both of them, the situation is very complex. But for her, is a little bit more fortunate, a little bit more, like one idea more fortunate. And also look in the solar horoscope, Moon in Aries and Mars, like she has a return and a mutual reception, and also November has mutual reception, which is very, very strange. It's still very, very interesting. If I have to make conclusion, I looked at more horoscopes, but I don't want to, now bring you out to all these charts which I opened, but you saw only the solar return horoscopes. And if we'll be looking at the solar return horoscopes in her charts, there are more resemblances with her solar return. Return also of the natal situation that she has, and also these mutual receptions and aspects which are taking place in November. This looks to me to be critical, not very happy and joyful, but a little bit more in her favor. Like both of them will be experiencing like crisis and most probably sudden events. Why? Because at the day of the elections, Uranus is exactly conjoined Algol, like in the day when they tried to kill Donald Trump in the summer. And the very same Uranus is making exact square to his natal Mars. This is very critical. Again, like this is such a strange configuration, repetition of the summer situation. For both candidates, the situation is not very fortunate, and it's not very easy to determine who will win. But to me, she has a little bit more chances. She has a little bit better chances, but the situation it remains very critical, and there are possible sudden changes in the market situation and sudden unrest, or people will react, will not be happy with the results. There could be
maybe that there is no final decision, that none of them, that something happens that there's
because
no...
look, it's like on the edge, truly on the edge. Like she has so tiny little idea of more chance. It is not really, if let's say, we cannot really say for sure even that she will be winning. It's such a little, the difference is so tiny.
Because I hear people from both sides, they say she will win with a landslide. The other side says he will win with a landslide. Everyone is preparing for a landslide winning of some sort. But everyone, as astrologers that I've talked, because I don't understand from elections and I don't want to even try to guess, it's very complex you look through so many charts. But it seems like everyone is like not certain fully where it's going. There is
because
yeah.
Because it is like this situation which you have all over the world. You do not have true leaders which deserve, it is a compromised winning. If one will if she would will win, it will be like a compromised winning, or it will be another deception possibly, because look, Uranus in our goal squares Mars right on his ascendant, and also his ascendant ruler, the sun in the solar revolution, is in the sixth house of betrayal, of enemies. Could be that he will experience another betrayal or situation that will endanger his health once again. This is so.
Wow.
And in her chart, you see how many mutual
shocking predictions we're hearing here. It's wow.
Wada, look, 12th, sixth house, full moon, and he was born on solar eclipse. He was born on solar
But
eclipse.
then again, right on around the 14th or 15th, there is a full moon right on Donald Trump's midheaven with with Uranus.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So that,
and one fact we forgot. This, you know, what was this strange comet with the Chinese name? Wada, it passed through Leo Virgo. And you know, I was watching when the regime in Russia fell, in the Soviet Union, when the regime fell and Gorbachev made the grand betrayal, the similar comet passed through very similar placement, and I couldn't because I found this today and I didn't have enough time to research exactly how this took place. But it is believed that the regime really changed to 100 with a shift of 360 degrees, partially because of the comet passing through Leo Virgo. And let me tell you, he has Leo ascendant, Virgo second house. You know, the comet passed through these places in his horoscope. And by the way, we do not have enough knowledge on comets. There is very little knowledge on comets, very little. But this year, what I found out is that the bigger the tail, the more unfortunate the comet is. I didn't know that really. I thought we would be looking at the colors. Yes, this is also true. The colors will say what to expect. And I saw pictures from all over the world with comet in red. The comet had red colors, and red is martial stuff like unrest, civil unrest, could be warlike situation, martial type of disasters. And Mars is for a very long time in Cancer, very tricky, very, you know, not honest, very hidden would be the energy of Mars. So I don't know. We will be learning now, alive, live, what this comet will mean. You know, I'm very curious because we cannot have experience with something which took place like 800 years ago or so. We will see.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Fascinating. I'm like, I want to get like a clear answer, but all the amazing astrologers I ask, they're on the verge as well. You're not the only one who are like, it's really, you know,
it's on the edge. To summarize so that you know, people see a little bit, have clarity with what we just saw. To summarize, there are many events, especially the mutual receptions in her chart, in her solar return repetition of the with the mutual receptions, and the mutual reception of November, which speak a little bit more in her favor. But there is also something saying about very sudden shift, which we haven't seen before. This is second. And thirdly, the moon in Scorpio afflicted by Saturn shows that people will not be happy with what will take place. And this is important for the chart of America because America's horoscope has ascendant Scorpio, descendant Taurus. And the moon appears for the first time in Scorpio. This will be like masses of people will not be satisfied with what will be taking place. And this will be big. I think this summary is a little bit, you know.
Crazy. Carry on.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
go.
let's see. Yeah. This would be very long, so that's why let's look at the 12 ascendants, maybe. And of course, we'll see. We're here to see. We are learning astrology live, like we learned, like we became better astrologers in 2020. Admit that, Wada.
That's the only time I got interested in world events, and ever since.
Yeah.
Just I think so many people turned to astrology in 2020 and
Yes,
discovered
because
astrology.
because
wanted to
astrology
get
is giving answers and remedies, not only answers but also remedies. Indeed, this is the
But in
thing.
this case, it's so complex.
Yes, I think it is very, very complex indeed. So, yeah. So if you like, we can look at the 12
Yes,
ascendants for the month of November. And just to say to people who haven't seen us before, we look from sidereal perspective, which is the perspective of the sky. You know,
the
what is
actual constellation. Yeah.
what is happening on the sky is what we see in the horoscope, and also we look from the perspective of the tropical or modern astrology. And if you don't know at what time you're born, you can apply your moon sign. For example, when we start with people who have sidereal ascendant Aries or moon in Aries, most probably this will be tropical or modern astrology Taurus.
Just to
And
say, before you start, if you'd want a personal reading with Krasi, I'm putting a link below. She's giving her readings with a nice discount for the next 2 weeks, a reading for 2025 already from Krasi that you can have live with her. I'll put links below if you want a promotional reading with Krasi using ancient Babylonian astrology. So you have the word Krasi for tropical Taurus sidereal Aries.
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Wada. So tropical Taurus sidereal Aries. Mars is important because the appearance of the moon is in Scorpio, and Mars is your ascendant ruler. And for you, the appearance of the moon on the 3rd of November, for the beginning of the month, is happening on your 8th house. Again, this has financial importance. Also, the moon appears in the so-called sacred degrees, which we described as degrees of knowledge, degrees which will bring to you enlightenment. And certainly this can mean financial changes, especially when we have the involvement of the 8th house. This can be concerning the finances of your partner or money of unexpected sources. It will be important for sure. Then your ascendant ruler in the 4th house will bring importance of the home. You may need to be a little bit more attentive, loving with your parents, with mother in particular. But this month, if you're interested in property, real estate, because of the placement of Venus and the financial eventual instability of the month and markets, this month may not be very, very appropriate for important new businesses, important new beginnings for you. The sun is very well placed in Gemma. This is a star of great talents. So this can actually be very benevolent for your romantic life, but still be careful, be diplomatic, because Mars is squaring. Also, the Saturn from the 11th house, retrograde, squaring the 2nd house Jupiter. Be a little bit attentive with children, a little bit careful. Be careful with which choices you make in relation to new studies or philosophies. But in general, Saturn in Aquarius is not a bad placement, so this can be benevolent for a social circle that you have, for your connections, and even for gains, for finances, but just make intuitive financial decisions. And now let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Gemini. Now for you, the important opposition between Jupiter and Venus is taking place on your ascendant descendant, and the moon appears on your seventh house. Actually, this for you is not bad. It is could be very emotional, could be even positive for your romantic life, for your relationships. But in terms of business decisions, try to be more intuitive, more diplomatic, more careful. Be also careful when you travel. New beginnings, I wouldn't really advise. And at work, try not to come up with new projects, new ideas. The month is probably not very appropriate for that. But for your routine, for creative work, for to enhance your good relationship with people, and also to improve relationships at home in your romantic life, the month could be actually very positive. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini or moon in Gemini, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this is Cancer. For you, the first appearance of the moon is with your ascendant ruler, with Mercury in the sixth house. This actually could be good for your routine, for your job, can give you very good information on healing, on improving your own health, to fix relationship with potential enemies, let's say, could be fine. But in general, emphasis on the sixth house with the moon there can be very fine for improving your routine, your administration, fix administrative work which you didn't like to do before, these types of things. In terms of health, herbal remedies, making your herbal remedies, for example, could also be very good. Connecting with nature could also be very good. Saturn trines your ascendant from your ninth house, and the sun in Gamma in your fifth house, and this is good for creative knowledge, for your children, even for travel. But when you make financial decisions, make sure that you're very intuitive, not impulsive. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Leo. Now, Mars is on your ascendant, and he exchanged positions with Venus on your fifth house, with the moon on your fifth house, and the moon is with Venus and Mercury. This is very, very interesting because they exchanged positions, and this automatically makes your fifth house very important. Be a little bit careful and attentive with children. In terms of relationships or sudden relationships, try to be intuitive so that you're not disappointed. Be careful, attentive with your partner, also diplomatic. In terms of finances, it's okay. The month, because Jupiter is actually in your 11th house, making aspect to the ascendant, and the sun in the fourth is making aspect to Saturn in your 8th house. In terms of enlightenment, seeing the truth, researching occult secrets, this also could be very good aspect for your business at home as well. For dealing with property, but I can tell you also to you, the month is not very appropriate for new beginnings because you need Venus to be brilliantly powerful, and therefore the month is good to maintain the status quo, but not really to start new businesses or new projects. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo or moon in Leo, or if you follow in modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo. For you, the moon appears on your fourth house in Scorpio with Venus, with Mercury. This is very good for your home, for dealing with property, for connecting with nature. In addition, your ascendant ruler, the sun, is in Gemma at the beginning of the lunar month, trine in Saturn. So in terms of creativity, creative knowledge, communication, even travel, for you, this is not bad at all. Be a little bit more, let's say, careful and responsible for your health. Because of Mars in your 12th house, you certainly need to be taking good care of your health and try not to be non-diplomatic or impulsive at work with superiors, be very diplomatic, because indeed Jupiter and Venus all like create portal of opportunity at your home and at work. But this is also very big and can suddenly change because of Uranus there. So in order not to miss an opportunity, be diplomatic and just follow carefully every single detail at your work, and you could really have good opportunities at work, career place. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Libra. Now for you, the first appearance of the moon took place in Scorpio. This is your third house, and there is an opposition between Mercury, moon in Scorpio, Venus, and Jupiter on your ninth house. This automatically becomes big portal for events, changes, and actually this is third ninth house related to knowledge, related to communication with people abroad, philosophy, studies, opportunity for knowledge, studies, philosophies which may come from abroad, or this may involve travel. Also, Mars and the moon form their mutual reception in the houses of 11th house, the house of your connections, social appearance, social circle, gains, and also the third house. This would say that you may need to be a little bit more attentive with children, more intuitive with friends and the way you appear in public, and also a little bit more careful when you travel. You will probably desire to travel, or you will plan traveling, but this is a little bit very too emotional, too like big. Therefore, try to be diplomatic and careful. And also the sun in the second house, forming a trine with Saturn, is not bad for your routine work and also for your finances. And now we'll be looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. For you, your ascendant is the 12th house from the appearance of the moon. In this sense, health is very important. Matters like health, connecting with nature, helping others, doing empathic work, improving relationships with others if you want also. Be responsible for your health because Mars is squaring the moon, and try to be diplomatic at work, in your career place. Try to be more diplomatic indeed. In addition, Mars and the moon exchanged places in your second and 10th house. So money and career will be important, not in a bad sense, but still be diplomatic, be careful, especially when you come up with new projects, with new financial ideas. Make sure that you're very diplomatic, very careful, and not impulsive. And be a little bit more attentive with children in the meantime. And now let's look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Sagittarius. This month, your ascendant seems to be the most important because the moon appears right on your ascendant. This would say that also emotionally the things are big. Your romantic life, relationships, it comes to be very important because Venus, Moon, Mercury on your ascendant, opposing Jupiter in Taurus. Try to be, to meditate, to reach nirvana, if you want to say so. And you can actually benefit a lot from this because this can give you the muse to create something, to research, to study, to connect with nature, to do herbal work if you want. This could be very good. Also, you may desire to travel or to study, but make sure that you make your choices intuitively, especially when you travel. You may need to be a little bit more careful. Yes, and be a little bit responsible for your health because of the placement of the sun in the 12th house, and actually the square between the moon and Saturn in your horoscope. But in general, this is a window of opportunity and really blessing for your creativity, you can suddenly desire to do some artwork or something different from what you're usually doing. So this could be actually very benevolent. And also don't forget to emphasize on connection with nature, herbs, herbal medical plants, and so on. You will have very good results. And now we're looking at people who have ascendant sidereal Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius. Or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Capricorn. Now for you, the appearance of the moon for month of November took place in your 12th house. Emphasis of health, hidden enemies, helping others, empathy. So this is what could be very good remedy for you so that you can feel well and pay off some karma if you want. Be a little bit responsible for your health indeed, because also Mars is in the 8th house, the moon is in the 12th, so you may need to be more responsible for your health. In terms of gains, financially, the month looks good. Also, in terms of studies, philosophy, even travel, it is certainly not bad. Also, Jupiter is blessing your routine work, and health-wise, finding out good health methods or means, researching health, educating yourself on health also could be benevolent for you. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aquarius. So the first appearance of the moon for November happens for you on your 11th house. And Mars is also in the 7th. So be a little bit more loving, diplomatic, careful with your romantic partner, also in business, in partnerships, be a little bit more diplomatic, more attentive with children. In terms of gains, the month is fine, but make sure that you make your financial decisions carefully, applying your intuition. The sun in Gemma in the 10th house is good can give you a chance for some creativity or like some surprising good project or something like that. Financially, this is not bad because the sun from Gemma is trining this retrograde Saturn in Aquarius in your 2nd house, and Saturn cannot be bad for you because Saturn is your ascendant ruler. So the month doesn't look bad financially. Just be a little bit more attentive with children, more responsible for your health, and make sure that you are diplomatic and loving with your partner. And now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Pisces. As you know, Saturn is on your ascendant because Saturn is in sidereal Aquarius, and the first appearance of the moon will take place right on your 10th house, square in your ascendant. So be careful, attentive to see what will happen in your career place at work. Could be actually good. I expect it to be good, but will be intense, will be strong, especially career-wise. Your routine environment may be seeing some changes. Also watch out for people which may betray you. Be a little bit careful also in not really trusting everyone. In terms of studies, new philosophy, travel, spiritual work, the month is very, very good for you. But be also responsible for your health. And now we look at the last from the 12 ascendants, Pisces, sidereal or moon in Pisces, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this would be Aries. For you, the moon appears right on your 9th house. This is good. And the moon exchanges position with Mars on the 5th. Two benevolent houses, 5th and 9th, and they all trine your ascendant. This is fine for you in terms of blessing, opportunity as well. This philosophically creative studies could be really an opportunity, connecting with people abroad, even travel, why not? Or some opportunity which may arrive from abroad, from distance. In addition, financially, the finances of your partner or finances via partnerships or finances via unexpected sources could be a plus for you. Be responsible for your health. Be a little bit careful for your health. And for the rest, I'm sure for you, the month, also this month is interesting because all these eclipses of this year took place on your ascendant descendants. So you are already experiencing interesting changes, but this November for you will probably be harmonious. You will not really be very much stressed from the upcoming events. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is for November. Very, very interesting month. Surprising, full of, well, uh, changes and events which we haven't maybe seen before in our lifetime. We will see.
Thank you so much, Krasi, for your time and
Pleasure.
for passion you put on in those forecasts. And thank you everyone for being here with us live, or if you're watching it after that. Share your comments, and if you'd like to contact Krasi again, I have put links below in the description for anyone who wants to connect with her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Wada.